Let's talk about the Cartesian plane. Later in the semester, we'll be using it to draw pictures that represent solutions to various problems. The Cartesian plane is just two number lines that are joined together at a right angle to each other. Usually, the one going across we call the x-axis, and the one going up and down we usually call the y-axis. I say usually because you don't have to situate them this way if you don't want to. You can turn them different directions so that you're able to see different things, and even add in a third axis called the z-axis that lets the picture be three-dimensional. For us, we will always situate our Cartesian plane with x going across and y going up and down. The Cartesian plane divides our picture up into four different sections. These sections are called quadrants. I've labeled our quadrants here in green, and you'll notice that they're labeled in Roman numerals as well. We label our quadrants using Roman numerals every time, and it begins in the upper right with the first quadrant. Quadrants are labeled in a counterclockwise direction, so here is the first, this is the second, here is the third, and there is the fourth. Those quadrants just let us more efficiently talk about different parts of the picture. If I said to you, look at the first quadrant, then hopefully you're looking here. While if I say to you, look in the third quadrant, hopefully you're looking there. Lets us more efficiently talk about our picture. Now, the spot where the two number lines are overlapping each other is called the origin, the beginning place. It is the zero spot for each of our number lines. So the coordinates for the origin would be 0, 0. We begin at the origin counting to find other points. If we want to know where a particular point is located, what its address is or its coordinates, for instance, the point that is here, we begin at the origin and we first count in the x direction, either left or right. If I'm here and I'm trying to go there, I need to go to the right. Now, moving to the right is a positive move on a number line. We're going to move one place in the positive x direction. That didn't give me where I'm going, though. I still need to go up by 2 places. Does up feel positive or negative? That's right, it's a positive move as well. So we moved one place in the positive x direction and 2 places in the positive y direction, and the coordinates then for that point would be 1, 2. Notice that I've written this as what is called an ordered pair, and that the order matters. We put the x direction first and the y direction second. So that means that the point 1, 2 is a totally different spot from the point 2, 1. You always put the x value first, the y value second, alphabetically for our ordered pair. Now notice these 2 points and anybody in the first quadrant. To get in that first quadrant, you had to move to the right and you had to move up, which are both positive moves. If you're going to be in the first quadrant, you have to have a positive x and a positive y. Everybody in that first quadrant would have a positive x and a positive y. Let's look at somebody in the second quadrant, the point that is here. From the origin, I'll go one place in the negative x direction, so that is -1 for x, but then I still need to move up by 1. Up is a positive move, so the coordinates for that point would be -1, +1. Again, x is first and y is second. Anybody in the second quadrant would have to have a negative x and a positive y, because to get in that second quadrant, we had to move left and up. Left is a negative move for x, up is a positive move for y, so anybody in the second quadrant would be a negative x but a positive y. Without even thinking of a point in the third quadrant, let's think about the signs there. To get out in this third quadrant, you had to move left and you had to move down. Left is negative, Down is also negative, so anybody in the third quadrant would have a negative x and a negative y. How about the fourth quadrant? To get in the fourth quadrant, you need to move right and down. Right is a positive move, down is a negative move, so anybody in the fourth quadrant has a positive x but a negative y. The Cartesian plane, just two number lines at a right angle to each other, and we count from 0, 0, that origin, to locate where a point would be. Ordered pairs have to be written with x first, y second, parentheses around them, and a comma in between them.